Hey everybody, I'm Kamina Sue and welcome to my channel Strength Karma. Today I'm going to be interviewing somebody who is a former professional athlete, but the cool thing is that he is an expert on the dreaded dad bod. So if you're watching this and you know someone who wants to change up their physique, then you must stay and watch to the very end, because I know that Gael, who's my guest today, is going to be sharing some really great pearls of wisdom. So welcome, Gael, to my channel. Thanks for joining me today.
Glad to be on the show.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? As I mentioned that you were a professional athlete, and so tell me a little bit about that, and then how you got into personal training.
Well, I was always fascinated with the body from a younger age. My dad got me playing soccer when I was 3. And then I ended up playing handball because I grew up in Europe, and then ended up playing basketball from 10 to about 28, 30. Spent a little bit of time playing basketball overseas in France for 3 years. And I played a little bit of semi-pro basketball here in the US and a college in Washington. And after my career, I felt like something was missing. So I felt like I needed to help people to do something with their health. So I started this personal training business where I actually started at LA Fitness. So the thing with in person is you can only touch one life at a time, one life per hour. So your time is very limited. So if you work, 5, 6 hours a day, that's six lives you can touch. And most of the time, these people they're gonna want to try it 2 or 3 times a week. So you only touch about 20 lives,
So the dad bod, that was something that so you wanted to leverage your time and knowledge. So that's why you actually went online. And so what drew you to wanting to help people with dad bods specifically?
Well, I felt it for myself as well. Going from practicing 2 or 3 times a day, 6 days a week, you pretty much can eat whatever you want. You can go to McDonald's a couple times a day and have a couple of protein shakes and have a big breakfast, and you're still 6% body fat. So when I started working in accounting and training people, I started feeling my body getting heavier. When I was playing basketball, I was 195, 200, now I'm 230. So there was definitely I was gaining weight, I was getting slower, I was getting tired, I didn't have as much energy. And I realized that this is something I need to address right now. I had a child myself, and that really changed the game. Your workout time is limited. You cannot go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week. Now you're limited to 2 or 3 times. And, you got to spend time at home. You got to spend time with the family. You got to work. And so now you got to be able to manage those calories and those workouts based on the amount of calories you're burning every day. So by experiencing all of this, I felt like, well, other people need to know that, because if they're looking at Men's Fitness magazine and they see the Wolverine workout, they're going to do it. And they're not going to understand that the amount of calories that needs to be eaten, that maybe the frequency of that workout is too much. And the people would just burn themselves out.
That's so interesting you should say that, because I think a lot of people get, when you mentioned the Wolverine workout, all these people that get really jacked for their role in the latest Marvel movie, and that's kind of positioned as, oh, and if you do this and this, you can have that too. So and I think people get discouraged when it's just so extreme, or that they're only given a partial amount of the picture that fits in with the word count of the article. Gael, why don't you explain a little bit about how it's interesting what you mentioned about the whole calorie thing, that people have to be aware of how much calories are expending if they're not training like you were as a professional athlete several times a day. Did you find that people are aware of those kinds of things? Tell me a little bit about some of the things that you've come across in your clients.
No, people are not aware of it. People overeat and they drink the calories. So, if the new trend is smoothies, well, they're going to drink 1,000-calorie smoothies. It looks green and thinking it's healthy, but it's just like eating a cheeseburger. You're still eating 1,000 calories. So it's very easy to overeat. And I mean, if you're a smaller guy, if you're 5'10" and 165, 170 pounds, you eat 2,000 calories, you're right there at your limit. If you do a basic 45-minute workout, eating more than 2,000 calories, you're going to start, gaining weight. So, and it depends on the people, it depends on genetics, metabolism, and the type of workouts that they're doing. But most of the time, people are not aware of how much they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I try to tell people, it's not to look at the calories per day, but trying to look at it per week. Because per day can be very stressful and you feel like you always have to be very strict with your diet. But when you look at it per week, okay, with one day you eat 2,200 and then 2,200, but then Sunday, you don't have much going on. You're just going to be very light on your diet and it just matches evenly to 2,000 per day out of the 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that really helps, especially guys, to start, shedding some fat and feeling good again.
What do you see as a big problem with the dad bod? I mean, we've gone a little bit why it happens, because people have less time to train and they often don't realize what they're eating. But what do you think is the big problem with the dad bod?
Why have a dad bod when you can have a great physique? And as long as the dad bod is healthy, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, right? But most of the time, if you're carrying a little bit of, fat in the belly, and sometimes it comes with high cholesterol, diabetes, and all kinds of health problems. And then it can also be the gut microbiome that is not healthy, and that's why you're carrying all your fat in your belly. So nothing wrong against it, but why not get in the best shape of your life when somebody can show you exactly how to do it, and realizing how easy it is to do it. And you're doing a favor to everyone, people in your family, your kids that are looking up to you, to your wife, and all your friends, because you become the leader in that health category after that. They're going to look up to you. Oh, how did you get these results? And now you can teach those people how to get them.
What do you find, Gael, is like a misconception that, say, the guys that you're working with, dads that you're working with, have when they are trying to lose weight and lose fat and get a more muscular physique?
They're going from not doing anything to try to do too much. So if you go from jogging to going in the gym 5 days a week and not doing the proper types of exercise and not having the right nutrition, it's not going to work out. You're going to burn yourself out after 10 days. You're going to be tired. You're not going to have the energy. You're not going to go back to the gym. You're going to get hurt. So there's a whole process going from a sedentary lifestyle to becoming fit and athletic. You got to rebuild the body from the ground. And for some of these guys that probably play sports in high school, the muscle memory is going to kick in, but you still have to go through a phase of rebuilding, awakening the muscles that have been sleeping for 15, 20, 30 years. Okay. So lots of mobility, stretches, some activations. Start with basic, high calorie burning exercises and get the nutrition dialed in.
So when you say getting the nutrition dialed in, what do you think of those like those ways of eating like keto or paleo and those other ones that people often use when they're new to taking charge of their health? Tell me your thoughts about that and how you'd recommend your clients to eat.
All the diets, they work as long as you do them. So that's the beauty of it. But keto might not be sustainable. There's a lot of diets out there, and I personally tried vegan, keto, and it's just didn't work for me. It wasn't sustainable enough for me to keep going on that route. So I usually tell people to eat less, and there's a way to eat less. Instead of eating, your 3 meals and 2 snacks, well, how about 2 meals and a big protein snack, and that's it. So you can actually eat what you want and still get to the calories that you need.
What do you say to guys who maybe they say love their beer, they say love because maybe they've got a stressful job or they're under a lot of pressure and they maybe use like having a beer and maybe some nuts. I was watching this and they're thinking, well, yes, I'd like to go to the gym, but I've tried before and I found it really hard to stop drinking. Or do you have any sort of tips or something that people could use to help them through that?
I like fasting. I'm a big cider guy and I drink cider every every week, a couple of times, 3 times a week. I like fasting. So usually what I do is I try to be done eating dinner by 7 p.m. And I'm pretty much not eating until 11 noon the next day. All I get in the morning is black coffee. I also use amino acids that I add to my coffee. One of them is L-theanine and the other one is L-tyrosine. And those two amino acid mixed with caffeine gives you like 4 or 5 hours of intense focus. And don't eat anything, just drink a lot of water. Because most of the time, people think they're hungry. They're not hungry, they're dehydrated. They need more water. So if you drink more water, you're not gonna be hungry. And you get 16, 17 hours of fasting. And then after that, you can go have nice lunch, go feast. And then midday, have a high protein snack, protein shake, a couple of protein bars. And then at night, have dinner before 7, 8 o'clock. And you're going to be in your calorie range, and depending on the size of the guy as well. Of course, if you're 220 pounds and 6'3", you're going to need a little bit more food than somebody that is 5'8" and 165 pounds. But all of this comes along and you're going to notice that you're skipping one meal. You're pretty much taking away 400 or 500 calories out of your way, right away. Per week, that's 2,500. You can lose a pound of fat. And on top of that, you're going to be exercising and you're going to be burning an extra 600-700 calories. And that's when the magic happens.
What do you find works the best? Training fasted, or?
So I personally train fasted. So on the days that I train, I will get up 5 a.m., run to the gym. I'll train for an hour and a half, completely fasted. I'm just drinking coffee in the morning just to give me a little bit of boost. And when I come back, that's when I have my protein shake and then I make breakfast. So on the days that I'm training weights, I am not fasting. So that'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And on Thursday, Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, I play sports. So tennis, boxing, a little bit of golfing, but I'll be outside playing sports and having fun. But the weightlifting is to keep our body in shape. And the days that I'm lifting weights, I will be eating that day. I will not be fasting. So to tell you pretty much, I eat a little bit more calories the day that I'm working out in the gym versus the days I'm doing sports.
Obviously that regime works for you. And what about with your clients? Like, do you find that, how do you take like an individualized approach with each person, or how does
it depends really of the person, their lifestyle, how many kids they have, what job they have. If they work a graveyard shift, the fasting is going to have to work around that. If they have a regular 9 to 5, then we can work around that as well. And it's usually easier when it's 9 to 5 because Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they can get up a little bit earlier. In the first 90 days, you don't really need to go to the gym, and you can have like a little bit of equipment at home and get it done. Very simple. All you need is a couple dumbbells. Now they have those dumbbells where you can, pretty much 50 to 5 pounds, you can interchange the weight anytime you want. You get a set of bands and the TRX, you attach that to your door. You can pretty much there's pretty much no excuse for you not to do it. You can do it from your bedroom, the garage, outside. I've done it during the pandemic outside. So it's very easy, it's very doable. For those who have the chance to go to the gym, yeah, you might have to get up a little bit earlier just to get there. And it all comes down to what you really want, and the motivation. And I'm here to motivate people. I'm here to make sure that you do what needs to be done, because the first 3 weeks, you might think, oh man, why am I doing this? But after that, you're going to thank me, and you're really going to need that motivation to keep going, because after 3 weeks, that's when you start seeing major results. The first 21, 30 days, this is the hardest part, but it's very, people love it, and they keep going and they never want to stop. And usually, my program is usually 90 days. And after the 90 days, they still want some kind of accountability, and they still want me to be part of their lifestyle. Maybe not every day, but maybe like a check-in once a week. It really depends on the person.
That sounds great, because I think that accountability is a huge part of why a lot of people, they try to do it on their own. And unless they're particularly motivated, or what I mean to say is that they've got a very strong will, and they're not swayed by their environment or their lifestyle, which is actually not that many people. Something's going to happen, and they fall back into old habits. So having a coach like yourself is, I would have to agree, is one of the biggest keys to success for somebody, especially if they've not succeeded before in transforming their body. The Athlete Accelerator. So this is your program, Gael. So what is it about your program that is unique?
We take a different approach of everything. A basic program will give you, this is your meal plan for the week, right? And when you think about it, oh, you got to eat this for lunch, this for breakfast, this for dinner, this snack. Try to go to the grocery store and eat a different meal. You're going to come out with a $600 bill just to make one meal, right? I don't do meal plans. My thing is we fast, we do 2 meals a day and a big protein snack, and we do the right types of workout. And it's not just a workout, pre-built workout, one size fits all. Every workout is based on the person, the individual, the age, if they play sports in high school or middle school. And it's based around becoming more athletic, because lifting weights is great, but it's also about what can your body do, okay? Are you gonna relieve some back pain, some knee pain, some better sleep, better mobility? All of those things, you don't see that in most programs. Most programs is do the bench press, do the pull-ups, do the squats. They're not gonna teach you how to do a squat properly. They're not gonna teach you how to get the proper mobility to squat properly. And this leads to injuries. So I like to have my first phase where I rebuild the guy with a bunch of mobility. We do band work, we do all kinds of stuff that you probably never seen before. And then after that, we start tapping on big movement, big athletic movements. We use dumbbells, we don't use barbells at the beginning. And then now you start unlocking all the potential of your body, become more athletic, you're gonna become faster, your conditioning is gonna go higher, and you're just gonna be shredding fat very fast. That type of training, it translates a lot better from you going, playing with your kids, or I don't know, some of these guys, their kids play basketball. Well, you want to be able to, you don't want your 8-year-old to beat you at basketball. So all my training methods help you in real life, in real sports. So then you can become and go out and join the basketball league, soccer league with no problem. It's not going to make you bulky and stiff and causes you like a bunch of injuries. This is the way I train. And I'm 38 years old and I still feel great. And some of my clients are much older than me and they still play sports. Like they found their prime again. They went from, oh, I'm doing Orange Theory because that's all I can do, to like, hey, I'm taking tennis lessons again. Hey, join this basketball league, join this soccer league. So they start feeling young again. Mm-hmm. So that the Athlete Accelerator basically gives you all that youthful energy and mobility and agility back to your life, so you can go on and have fun again like you did when you were younger. Yeah, age is only a number, and it's a number you choose.
So could you tell us, where can people find out more about you and the Athlete Accelerator program?
Well, for most people that want to hear more about it, is usually go to the athleteaccelerator.fit and sign up and watch the case study and fill out an application and book a call, and we can talk a little bit more about your goals and what you need, what your body need, and we can get an outline of what would work for you long term and something that can be also very sustainable for your lifestyle.
People also find you on any social media platforms?
Yes, you can find me on Fitness to the Max on Instagram.
Fitness to the Max on Instagram, perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll
Fitness
have those
to the Max with a 2.
With a 2, the number 2. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So we'll have all of those links Gael just mentioned in the description of this video. And before we part ways, Gael, could you share 3 take-home tips for men keen to get rid of their dad bod?
First tip, I will start with, try to fast about 16 hours a day, eat 2 big meals and a big protein snack. So for somebody who will stop eating by 8 p.m., don't eat until noon the next day. If you're hungry, drink coffee, drink water, and then have a nice lunch. And then midday, have a protein shake and a protein bar. And then at night, have dinner. And start doing that. That's my number one tip. Second tip will be drop the leg day, the back day, the chest day. Just do full body workout. You go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and do full body workout. So you tap a little bit of legs, you do one set of legs, one set of chest, one set of back, one set of shoulder, one set of biceps, and do a little bit of cardio 3 times a week. Completely change your workout. The body splits. You're not going to burn enough calories doing just a little bit of curls and triceps extensions. So yeah, definitely number 2 is full body workouts. And number 3 will be to take a probiotic and a prebiotic to have a healthy gut microbiome.
Gael, one last question for you. Do you recommend that you mentioned that people stay within a calorie intake per day, and I know that you advocate fasting as a way to do that. Do you advise that is enough, or do people might decide, oh great, Gael says I can just go and have a giant lunch. I'm just going to go through the drive-through, or just really kind of get something really huge because I'm so hungry and this is kind of giving me, I'm only having 2 meals a day. Mm-hmm. Do you recommend that people, I know it depends on the individual, but what do you recommend, like tracking apps like to track calories, or how do you prescribe portion control and calorie control besides the fasting?
I always like people to learn a little bit about calories and how much 4 ounces of chicken weights, what it looks like, and how much protein there is in it. So the first couple of weeks, I like people to get a scale and kind of like measure the food so they get an idea of how much they're eating. So keep track of your calories. So if you go to McDonald's and you eat burger and fries, try to be aware of what you like to eat and how many calories the things you like to eat have, right? So if your Big Mac is 1,200 calories with the fries, you got to be aware of that. If you get a burger from Chili's with the fries and it's 1,300 calories, you got to be aware of that. So every time you eat that, you know exactly that, okay, I just put 1,300 calories in my body. My limit is 2,200. Now I got 900 calories to work with, right? And then you can go home at night and make, a nice little steak with some broccoli and eat 450 calories, and you still below your calorie count. And you had 2 great meals. You had your junk food that you might like, and you had a great piece of steak with some broccoli. So you got to compromise a little bit, okay? If you just want to eat chips and fast food all day, that's just not going to work. There's a little bit of compromising. But the more you do that, the more you're going to start appreciating the good food versus the junk food.
Well, so this is all such really great information, Gael. I know people want to find out more about you. They can search you out on those links below this video. Look, thank you so much for joining me today, Gael. I learned so much, and it's such a pleasure to have you on here. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to Strength Karma. I post content every week. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.